has achieved a decade ahead of schedule as NEVs become mainstream.
Access to overseas markets is the next step for many local car makers, as they want their brands seen and to hear feedback from outside China. Last year, China became the world's largest auto exporter. That has worried some Western governments who claim China's making too many cars.
If we said the manufacturer produce more cars than their local market needed is overcapacity, I will say all the Europe OEM or American OEM already overcapacity decades ago. Nowadays, we have top 10 OEMs around the world. Only one from last year, BYD is number 9. The rest of 9 are all foreign OEMs. You will say they are all overcapacity. Certain governments want to protect the industry with tariff. But you need to think in the long-term infections. Higher tariff also discourage the tech growing. Consumer always be hurt.
Bucking those challenges, the capital market is growing. Shares of Chinese EV maker Zeekr soared 35% on May 10th on its US IPO, the biggest US listing by a China-based company since 2021.
A China Eastern Airlines C919 passenger jet departed from Hong Kong International Airport and landed at the Shanghai Hongqiao International Airport on June 1st, carrying more than 100 young professionals from the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region who will have internships in Shanghai. This is also the first cross-boundary commercial charter flight by a C919.
虽然之前也有所听闻，但是真正的踏上飞机的时候，我感觉非常的就是有种奇妙的感觉。毕竟这个飞机是象征着中国工业技术的一个进步。
我希望可以在那个实习岗位上获得一些与我学业相关的一些知识，看看上海的街道啊，或者是店铺有什么跟香港不一样的地方。
Eric Chang Kwok-ki, Chief Secretary for the Hong Kong SAR, hailed the charter flight and the C919's visit to Hong Kong last December.
这一系列的活动正是爱国主义教育的好例子，不单让香港青年加深了对国家航空发展的认识，也增强了他们对国家的认同感和自豪感。
The C919 has been flying commercially for a year. As of June, China Eastern Airlines' 5 C919 passenger jets had completed more than 2,100 flights, accumulated 6,000 plus flight hours, and transported nearly 300,000 people.
If you were traveling in China by air before last year, chances are that you were on board a plane made either by Airbus or Boeing.
But things changed in May 2023 when C919, the first made-in-China large passenger jet, made its maiden commercial flight.
It was a trip from Shanghai to Beijing. And now every day there are more than 10 regular C919 flights between Shanghai and Beijing, Chengdu or Xi'an.
My first trip through a C919, flying to Beijing.
Last time I saw one of these aircraft was in December 2022.
The China Eastern Airlines officially took the delivery of the very first C919, making today a historic day for China's civil aviation.
And in just 15 months, another 4 have been delivered.
It's all happened very quickly and could shake up the entire commercial aviation industry.
未来整个天空的这个飞行网络肯定是由3家交织在一起的。那么 A 呢，我们就是空客，然后 B 就是波音，那 C 就是中国自己的国产大飞机。
波音和空客会不会感到压力吗？
早晚吧。
We don't know how long that would take, but the Chinese-made passenger jet got plenty of attention at the recent air show in Singapore. It took China more than 16 years to put a large passenger jet in front of the world.
I saw many news in TV and YouTube also that Chinese plane competing with Boeing and Airbus. So the first time I saw this plane, and there is no difference. I think Boeing and Airbus and with Chinese plane. Flying and landing is good.
I don't feel much. It's like a regular trip.
It's actually the made in China plane. Do you feel like
this is the first one?
I told you the first one.
Yeah, that's what we are talking about.
I could see it was a little different, so I told my colleague that I can see it's not a Boeing, it's not an Airbus.
Are you expecting another trip with the C919?
Of course, yes.
Take another one?
Yes, I arranged already.
These passengers from around the world were all on my flight, and some are regular passengers.
今天去北京出差，
就是第二次坐C919了，之后还会选C919吗？
如果方便的话，肯定会首选这个。觉得还是比较舒服嘛，然后和其他的航班其实差不多。
This is the B919E, and it's the fourth C919 delivered to China Eastern Airlines.
My flight was almost full, and the crew told me that's the norm.
航线是成都天府、北京大兴还有西安都有直飞过，基本上来说都是满客的。
The aircraft maker Comac and the airline have clearly made an effort to improve the passenger experience, right down to the design of the baggage compartments and the seats. And it's also proved more friendly to the crew.
它的服务舱区会更加的宽敞一些，方便乘务人员的工作。这个客舱门面板是有所不同的。第一个是客舱门关闭状态的显示，当客舱门关闭的时候，它是显示绿色的；客舱门开启的时候，它会显示红色。
Comac has received orders for more than 1,200 C919 jets. China Eastern Airlines is a big purchaser, having ordered 105 of the jets.
As you can see here, different groups of pilots are preparing for their flights, which are about to depart from Shanghai's Hongqiao Airport this afternoon. And among them, these three are busy preparing for a C919 flight from Shanghai to Beijing in about 2 hours.
513-513-513-8已经在 C919 航班上累计运行340个小时的航班，120个左右的架次。
A pilot for almost a decade and a half, he's qualified to speak about the made in China jet.
从它的设计，然后对我们操纵性能上来讲，是会非常航班运行起来是非常平稳的。
The vast Chinese aviation market has become a natural advantage of the plane's development.
大飞机可以累积很多数据，包括可以得到很多来自下游的巨大市场的一个资金的反哺。那么这些东西呢，最终就可以提升我们整个飞机的一个飞行的，比如说便捷性，或者是提升它的一个经济性。那么最终国内市场运营的很好之后，其实无非移嘛。那么这个就是一个很水到渠成的。
In 2020, China became the largest domestic air travel market for the first time, according to the International Air Transport Association. Airbus and Boeing have constantly expressed their ambition in the market. Boeing said in its report that China will account for 1/5 the world's airplane demand through 2042, helping power demand for 6,470 single-aisle airplanes.
919的航程是完全可以覆盖一些国际航班的。然后跟国内航班相比而言，可能一些机场的运行细则以及航路上的一些通讯要求可能些许差异，但是我们都是经过培训，这些都是完全没问题的。
Last September, Brunei-based Gallop Air inked a deal with Comac on 15 C919 jets. That startup airline was backed by an investment group in China's Shanxi province. It seems what the plane is now waiting for is more international airworthiness certificates to be able to further open up its overseas market. But some experts say it's just a matter of time.
会很近吗？你觉得？
我觉得应该会很快，好消息应该会很快的。
Town adds that the market can find some clues from the ARJ21, the regional jet developed by Comac. After years of development and experience in China, the regional jet was officially delivered to its first overseas customer in December 2022.
"100 cars per hour is really impressive, so I'm deeply impressed."
A delegation led by Toril Sandvik, State Secretary to the Norwegian Ministry of Trade, Industry and Fisheries, visited the Tesla Gigafactory Shanghai on May 22nd. The first batch of Tesla cars were shipped to the port of Oslo in August 2021, marking the first delivery of Tesla Model Y in the Norwegian market. Since 2021, Tesla has ranked at the top of the Norwegian auto market for 3 consecutive years. Sandvik expressed his admiration for the factory's production capacity.
100 cars per hour is really impressive, so I'm deeply impressed. It's the most popular car in Norway. I just saw in April, I think it was 6,000 Model Ys sold. That's a small number in China. In Norway, it's a huge number. Tesla is popular in Norway because it was the first mover. It was the first long-range cars that came to Norway. But I can see now it's the European cars are coming after, and also I think a lot of Chinese cars is coming after in Norway now.
He added that despite the country's cold winters, electric cars remain popular.
EVs, they're closing the gap even there in very cold weather with more range in the batteries. I think mostly electric cars is popular in Norway because we have strong tax incentives to buying an electric car. And also we are a full electric country. So every housing in Norway, you have a lot of electricity because we warm our house with electricity. So it's easy to charge at home. That's important. But also because electric cars is a better car. You can have it for longer. It's less moving parts in an electric car, so it's cheaper in everyday use than internal combustion engines. And also together with a lot of Norwegians concerning about the climate, it's important.
The Norwegian Parliament has set a national goal for all new cars sold by 2025 to be zero emission.
I think last year it was 82% of new sales, and I just saw the numbers of this year, and I guess we are closing the gap up to 90%. But then again, 8% was rechargeable hybrids. So we're closing the gap.
He noted that it was a good time to visit Shanghai, as this year marks the 70th anniversary of diplomatic relations between China and Norway.
I've been here twice before, 23 years ago, and then 13 years ago. I'm curious to look at the manufacturing capacity, and also we'll meet with the Norwegian businesses in China to learn from them their experience being in these markets.
Huangpu Marathon combines the International Roller Skating Marathon Tour.
Regarde, cet événement a l'air génial.
Oui, et Shanghai est juste magnifique.
Ça me donne vraiment envie d'y participer.
The Zootopia Park at the Shanghai Disney Resort.
В Китае отличная инфраструктура. Путешествовать очень удобно.
Время планировать поездку в Китай.
Are you ready to begin your studies in China?
I've already begun learning Chinese.
You can learn by following the Shanghai Eye 24-hour live stream.
和中国的天空，我们在同一天打天下。
在世界的东边，有个文明古国，它叫中国。
Like it blows my mind.
China has been a leader in embracing investment.
Decoupling of the economies is not a solution.
Die Freundschaft mit China nützt unsere Wirtschaft.
Ich habe jetzt ein besseres Verständnis für viele Kooperationskonzepte.
I would say China is a lot stronger today in innovation.
You should really check out these explanatory reports.
Joe Biden's official presidential car is Cadillac One, otherwise known as the Beast. So is its Chinese counterpart the Beauty?
How big is a gram of gold?
In this incident, one could understand this as Western bias.
Wow, China is so different from what I imagined. Yes, we should understand China from multiple perspectives.
Sea? This is disgusting.
This is China Coast Guard vessel. China has indisputable sovereignty over the Nansha Islands.
So here's this ring-shaped reef down in the South China Sea. The Philippines says it's theirs, China says it's theirs. The Philippines calls it a Union Show, China calls it Ren Ai Jiao. And the former colonists call it Le Bon Tomadiem. It's 15 by 5 kilometers, but it's not even a piece of land. It only emerges at low tide, it's underwater most of the time, and certainly nobody lives here. And why does the Philippines say it's theirs? Hey, Xiaowang, I'm just gonna sit on this edge of your pond for a little bit because it's closer to where I live than where you live. I'm gonna take that as a yes. Doom, 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 doom.
Across the world, the reef's legal status is low tide elevation. Historically, fishermen from several countries in the area, like China, have used reefs in the region as temporary docking sites. However, territorial disputes around this reef started in the 20th century ever since resources were found in the nearby waters. Different countries had different maps and documents and records to show it's theirs.
Where's the map I have from 1984?
According to treaties signed in 1898, 1900, and 1930, the reef was not part of the Philippines' territory. But then in 1999, the Philippines went out to occupy the reef by intentionally beaching a warship called the BRP Sierra Madre.
Hot damn! I guess we'll see what happens in 25 years!
The Philippines has promised multiple times to tow the ship, but it's been 25 years and it's still there. Philippine Navy personnel still live on it as we speak. The ship's frequently replenished in these years.
If I were on that ship, I would find peace watching an endless rerun of Triangle.
You enter a place, everything you see.
And a most recent clash happened in March where the Philippines was apparently spotted carrying construction materials to the reef to make it rise above sea level and become land it could really occupy. You know what? I don't give a crap. I'm just gonna send these construction materials to the reef and see what happens in 25 years.
And the Philippines says these materials are used to repair the ship.
Permanently. Hey, it's important that all of you people see this. Yeah? All those b****s. There's no need to repair it. Just tow the fucking ship. And so whenever the Philippines is spotted trying to send construction materials to the reef, China responds, and then the Philippines responds, and then the Western media respond, and then China responds more. It's a train wreck. And of course, the United States has always existed in this process. Speaking from the U.S. government, this essential structure has to be here due to strategic importance to the United States and its allies around the world.
That's done in the form of drill after drill after drill.
Nice American people, I need more bikes. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you.
When such attempts happen, China Coast Guard uses water cannon to shoo off incoming Philippine ships and accuses the United States for using Philippines as a pawn to destabilize the South China Sea.
The United States continues through our own operations to be physically present in the region on a daily basis, and we continue to fly, sail, and operate everywhere that international law allows.
They only not do that where the penguins live!
And in a recently released audio, China and the Philippines appear to have reached a new agreement on the shipwreck, which the Philippines denied again in just a few days. And this has happened multiple times before.
And that's pretty much what happens round and round in a circle around this whole issue. What do you guys think? Should I pour more trash in so this place will be mine? Let me know in the comment section down below!
The world is now looking at China's manufacturing industry. In the first quarter, industrial production in the country jumped 6.1% from a year ago, boosted by strong growth in high-tech manufacturing. That was the largest growth in 8 quarters. And last month, the official Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index expanded for the first time in 6 months. The Caixin Manufacturing PMI also hit its strongest reading in more than a year, as overseas demand picked up.
All data has led to a conclusion that the activity in the manufacturing sector has rebounded. But in the middle of all this, the US and the EU have made a claim that's diverted some attention.
The concern being raised more and more by Western governments is overcapacity in Chinese production.
This time, they're focused on the green industry. But are the claims justified?
This judgment is too narrow-minded. We cannot get a 100% perfect match of supply and demand. It's quite normal in a market economy. Sometimes supply, succeeds demands. Well, sometimes it's another opposite direction. So it's a dynamic changing process. China's so-called overcapacity is the result of Americans' over-protectionism from its market. If the United States open its market to China's products and lower its tariff for Chinese products and follow a free trade philosophy, China's production or capacity could meet Americans' domestic consumption.
And while the Western side has been attributing the progress of industrial growth to the local government policy, including subsidies, it doesn't quite ring true.
Every major economy in the world, United States, US, and other, for instance Japan, always provide subsidies for their industries. Actually, the United States is the #1 country which provides subsidy to its industries, agriculture industry, energy industry, and even for the new energy vehicles. Biden administration provided hundreds of billions of dollars to its domestic industries. So it's not fair to blame Chinese industries be subsidized from Chinese government. It's quite normal. China's subsidies is at the average level if we compare with other countries.
But the overcapacity claims aren't slowing down development in China.
This is an ever-going balancing situation. There's always good potential. With 1.4 billion people in population, there's always opportunities. It has to come from generating new demand through innovation.
As for where the new demand can come from and how to generate it, the US headquartered smart manufacturing solution provider has given its answers. During the annual Shanghai Climate Week, it got together with other firms to launch what they're calling a lighthouse project to highlight and drive a transformation throughout the entire industrial supply chain.
The fastest demand will be directly related to the high-quality development around the new manufacturing of the new spaces, and then also the industrial services holistically. In the green manufacturing, that whole net zero or carbon neutral, that creates significant opportunities in terms of technology, in terms of new energy, in the power distribution sector. There is a lot of opportunity just in that particular one sector. During the global supply chain restructuring process, there's going to be a significant move to address the world demand using the China supply chain.
She said creating new demand depends on finding ways to apply advanced technologies to more and more industries.
We're using the metal industry maintenance digital solutions into metro. We try to use it cross-industry. We use the automotive flexible manufacturing capability into meat processing. People here have very open mind. And at the same time, China has the sub-industries 666 being identified by United Nations Industrial Development Organization. China has the full industry covered, that's 666. So having that as the foundation, that makes it a lot easier of bringing the different capability together.
In the first quarter of the year, China's industrial capacity utilization rate came in at 73.6%. China's National Development and Reform Commission says that rate is usually at a low ebb in the first quarter, partly due to the Spring Festival, and will gradually rise in the following quarters. The export sector's contribution to economic growth has bounced back to grow 14.5% after a contraction in the previous quarter.
Tourist routes were released in 5 different categories by the Shanghai Administration of Culture and Tourism. The local life, film and television, shopping, culture and sports, and exhibitions and museums categories include famous city landmarks like the Bund and Yuan Garden, as well as lesser-known spots such as Wuzhong Market, Zhapu Road, and the Qizhong Tennis Center. But the real draw may be the options to see and experience how local Shanghainese live on a day-to-day basis.
做一天上海人，从菜场里面专业的厨师带着他去买菜啊，厨师教大家一起包饺子，做中国菜麻婆豆腐啊，宫保鸡丁啊，就他们其实想来看人间的烟火，中国有跟他们有什么不同的地方。
At Centennial Park in Pudong District, a Caoyang sub-district official has also launched a Being a Shanghainese for a Day experience. Visitors are invited to a local person's house to experience what it's like to be a local Shanghainese.
那曹杨一村是我们的这个第4批的这个上海市的优秀历史建筑，比如说我们的虹桥也是非常有渊源的，也是非常有特色的一个这个桥梁。白喜公园，我们的上海的首座高线公园。那我们希望通过做一天上海人的这条旅游线路，能够把上海的这种幸福生活，让我们的这个更多的外国友人能够感受到。
What I like the most about Shanghai is Shanghai people, because Shanghai people are so warm to you.
来到中国就是为了什么？为了提高我的汉语水平，还有一个最重要的一点就是为了感受一下风土人情，因为在我的国家感受不到这一点。
其实在上海已经8个月了，但是没有接触多上海人，这个活动可以让我们一个机会来体验那个上海老百姓的生活怎么样，所以我很好奇。
Caoyang Community, which was established in 1951 as a model worker community, was Shanghai's first new community to open to the outside world. It has received more than 400,000 visits from more than 150 countries and regions around the world so far. Former U.S. President Richard Nixon and other national leaders have been among the dignitaries.
北溪公园是上海市的那个铁路农贸市场，每个礼拜天都有那个旅游团组织那个老外啊到这里来参观中国的市民怎么买菜，因为我搞翻译的，有的时候旅游团的老菜美国来的、欧洲来的，他们来不及听翻译，我就在后面帮他们翻译。
我那边的人他们会做这个，我刚看到了他，哎呀，我也会做这个，但是不是一模一样，但是我会的。中国传统的服装是马面裙，这个是我第一次穿这种衣服。
Huangpu District is committed to becoming the preferred destination for inbound tourism. A new inbound tourism alliance is being formed in the region, comprising hotels, travel agencies, attractions, intangible cultural heritage, and performing arts. The first members comprise 10 organizations to better meet the needs of foreign tourists.
我们区域内的非物质文化遗产的种类也非常的繁多，分布也很广泛。我们传统的美食、传统的手工技艺和传统的中医药极具特色。那么这一次成立联盟之后，我们也会陆续推出一些集休闲旅游、观光度假、非遗美食和非遗体验以及非遗演绎和非遗文创为一体的旅游产品，供境外游客的这个挑选。
More than 1.27 million inbound tourists arrived in Shanghai in the January-March period, up 250% year-on-year.
我们会更加多的去做一些深度游的产品来适应这部分回头客。最受欢迎的就是上海、桂林、成都、西安、北京，再搭配上3峡邮轮，大概是14天到15天这么一个行程。
So you've arrived in Shanghai, you want to spend a little time here. You have to understand that a lot of places don't accept cash, so you got to get by using WeChat or Alipay. Now, both of these things require identification and all kinds of stuff, passports to set up. But right now, there's a new product called the Shanghai Pass. And this is basically like a transit card, like a subway card that you can charge up and use. But it has a lot of added features. Not only can you use it on the subway, but you can also use it for the ferries, you can use it to get into tourist attractions, you can even use it in some convenience stores. And this is very, very handy because you don't need any ID at all to purchase one of these cards. You can get them right here at the airport or in different subway stations across town, and it makes life in Shanghai a whole lot easier being able to pay with just a card. Hello. I'd like to get a Shanghai Pass. Yeah.
Okay. So the cost of this card is 20 yuan. And how much do you want to top up?
Well, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 500 yuan, so just put it all on the card.
Okay. So you see there are 480 yuan in your card.
Perfect. And if I want to top it up, these are the...
In these subway stations, you can top up this card.
Thank you.
The Shanghai Pass is available at Terminal 1 at Hongqiao Airport and Terminal 2 at Pudong Airport. Other service stations are listed on the pamphlet.
We are on Nanjing East Road, the walking street. Super popular with tourists. And the Shanghai Pass works in quite a few stores here. I'm going to check out Shanghai First Food Hall.
There is just so much to choose from.
Osmanthus pear syrup candy. Ooh, how about this one? Creamy spiced bean. Never heard of anything being creamy and spiced at the same time. That's odd. Try some beef jerky.
I found some Shanghai street sign magnets. I think I'll take Anfu Road.
Now I'm right outside an All Days. The card should work here. Prune ice cream. Keep me regular. I'm gonna try this. Oh, 谢谢. Okay, well, I've been using this card for a little while now, and it's starting to run low. But when I was at the airport and I got it, they actually handed me this. Now, this is basically an index of all of the subway stations in the city where you can top up this card. Right now, I'm at Nanjing West Road Station, and I'm going to put a little more money on this card so it'll last me a little bit longer. I'd like to put 200 yuan on that card. Thank you. So every time you use the card, either on the bill it'll show you how much is left. In the case of a taxi, you can just look on the screen and you can see I had 449, now I've got 392.
下车东西别忘记。
谢谢。
再见。
再见。
Of course, the card works on the bus, even a tour bus. And I've never been on one of these double-deckers before.
One ticket. One ticket, please. Let's go.
When you buy a ticket for the double-decker bus tour, they give you a set of earphones to plug into a console in front of every seat. The recording gives you details on the landmarks along the bus route. It's half price if you're under 1.4 meters tall.
Trying to save some money. And as you can see, the pass can be used to buy tickets to tourist sites like the Oriental Pearl Tower.
It started raining. Of course, everything looks better in fair weather, but I've still got a Huangpu River cruise to take, and I'm not going to let the rain stop me.
6 p.m.? One person. It's not the greatest weather for a river cruise, but to be honest, I am getting a unique view of the Bund with the dark clouds over it and whatnot. It's still very pretty. Fights!
One last thing. The Shanghai Pass isn't limited to Shanghai. It also works on public transportation in other cities, including Beijing, Guangzhou, Xi'an, Qingdao, Chengdu, Sanya, and Xiamen.
We took a card for 15 days, so we are using internet through this possibility.
It's convenient for people who are not here very often, maybe coming once a year for a few days.
If somebody wants to come here on a short trip, I think they should apply for a SIM card. Yeah, that will really make a difference.
It was really easy. I just went there. I chose the period, so how many days I'm here. And then they just took a picture of my passport to make sure that I am the one who is buying the card. I put it in the phone and it started working, so easy.
Obviously, if you live and work in Shanghai, you have a mobile phone with a Chinese SIM card and a data plan. But what about people who are only in town for a very short period of time? Maybe you've got friends or family visiting, or perhaps there's a delegation coming to your offices. Having a Chinese SIM card is very useful because anytime you want to register for anything, they'll send you a verification code to your phone number. Now, yes, the city is plastered with Wi-Fi hotspots and the thousands of coffee shops all over town, inside shopping malls and whatnot. But there's always that one time where you're stuck in a dead zone, and not being able to get online is a real hassle. Well, right now, China Telecom is selling short-term SIM cards that come with minutes and data plans, most importantly. Now, most people will pick them up at airports, but in my case, I'm going to stop by this China Telecom office here on Taixing Road to see what they have to offer. Yeah, I'd like to get a short-term SIM card.
Oh, have a look.
Thank you.
7 days, 15 days, 30 days.
7, 15, 30 days. I think I'm going to go with a 7-day package. All right. Thank you, sir. Hello.
Hello, sir.
I would like to purchase a 7-day card.
Okay. Sir, you can choose a number.
Let's go with this one here.
Sir, it's okay. You
That's
take
it.
your phone and your passport. The phone card can be used today. Today is the first day.
Okay, it activates today.
Yeah.
Okay.
By 24 o'clock, 7 days, the SIM card will be cancelled automatically.
Understood.
This is no need to go to the business here again.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, that was easy, quick and painless. In just about 5 minutes, I got a 7-day phone card. This card is good for 20 gigabytes of data and 100 minutes of talking time. Now, if you need to top it up, you're going to run out of talking time or you need a little bit more data, you can actually download their app and you can top up the card if you want. Now, the app does function in English. However, if you want to top up the card, add more data or add more talking minutes, you're going to have to pay using WeChat or Alipay. Now, if you don't have either of these apps, or the person you give this phone to doesn't have either of these apps, then you can simply buy another card. One passport is good for up to 5 active cards, right? So you can give one person 2 or 3 cards if you think they're going to run out. Maybe they're traveling to another city, or you can buy 5 cards and give them to 5 different people. A very convenient setup.
我们现在全上海329家营业厅都可以提供外语服务。同时呢，我们有23家的营业厅，覆盖了16个行政区，那么也可以让外籍人士比较便捷的能够到相应的地域去提供短期卡的这样服务。我们是计划是今年这个8月份，在我们上海浦东机场的T1航站楼，我们专门会设置一个上海电信专属的营业厅，服务的客户呢，主要就是一个就是我们这个在这个国际航班。我们是全天候的，基本就服务到我们这个最后一个航班到达这个上海浦东机场。另外一个呢，也会我们在人员上面，就是会派专职的，就是会懂外语的这种专职的这个服务来为我们外国人士专门去服务。
这头驴不仅会看病，还会。
二位兄弟大家伙。
Lotus Lantern, Inspector Black Cat, and Dirty King Adventure. When walking to the exhibition hall, hundreds of classic cartoon images come together in a multimedia installation, opening the floodgates of childhood memories for several generations. To some extent, Shanghai Animation Film Studio's growth has mirrored advancements in Chinese animation. The exhibition Animating China, A History of the Shanghai Animation Films is on display at Shanghai Mingsheng Art Museum.
More than 1,500 exhibits, including documents, models, and videos, are on display, and many of which are likely to evoke childhood memories among adults.
对美术电影的感情也有点特殊，因为我父亲他是一个美术电影工作者。我们不但是我从小是看着这些片子长大，有时候晚上下课也会去美影厂。他们老一辈电影工作者啊，美术电影工作者当时付出的那些，确实是非常的艰辛的，确实是我们应该学习的。
Shanghai Animation Film Studio was founded in 1957. After the establishment of the People's Republic of China, it was the first professional studio to create and produce animated films. The studio produced the country's first color animated feature, The Monkey King: Uproar in Heaven, based on the 16th century Chinese novel Journey to the West. The animated film had about 850 shots in 2 episodes, requiring more than 154,000 sketches and 120 colors. The film won awards at the London International Film Festival in 1978. 6 sketches from The Monkey King are being exhibited for the first time.
上海美术电影厂，那么多年以来，他们一共推出了500多部这个大家耳熟能详的经典美术电影。那么我们也希望通过这个展览来告诉观众，那么美术电影究竟是什么？美术电影怎么做出来的？那么美术电影呢，它的这个制作现场大概是什么样的？那么我们所以做了这样一个展览，也希望展览呢能够这个把观众带入到这个上海的这座城市的这样一个文化的记忆当中吧。那么也以这种形式来致敬这个上海美术电影以及上海美术电影的时代。
那么我们就是想通过这样一个展去在这个中国动画发展史的过去、当下和未来搭起一个桥梁吧。这样一个展览就能让大家更全面的了解到这些背后的东西，可能会对我们今后的新一代的本土化的中国动画创作产生一定的启发吧。
Chinese animators have a distinct style, drawing inspiration from the country's folklore and tales. Paper cutting, ink wash paintings, paper folding, and puppetry have also provided inspiration. The exhibition also showcases production techniques. Mingsheng Art Museum in Shanghai has moved to Weihai Road in Jing'an District. This is its first exhibition in its new location, and it runs until October 8th.
Liu Peiyu was chosen as an inheritor of Sanling Biaobu weaving in 2015. Biaobu, which means standard cloth, is a type of high-quality cotton fabric produced in Sanlingqiang, Pudong. The technique was well known across the country during the Ming Dynasty.
这个技艺有700多年的历史了。今年呢又是龙年，那么我就把它做成这样一个龙船一样的一个龙，还有这个马，把龙马精神拿出来，在山林中学。我们专门有这样的一个学习班。
Paper flipping flowers is a craft that turns scraps of paper into art. Like Biaobu weaving, it's a form of intangible cultural heritage. The paper flipping flower craft dates back to over 100 years ago in Shandong.
现在有100多年了，最早原先过年的时候都是扎了这个花放在头上戴的。上海50多所学校上这个非遗手工课。
The second Saturday of June is China's Cultural and Natural Heritage Day, a holiday to celebrate the nation's unique cultural treasures. This year's theme is Protecting Cultural Heritage, Passing on Civilization.
老祖先传下来的这样吧优良传统，我们不能说把它发扬光大，我们也把它传承下去。
Children get to make painted fans, watch shadow puppet shows, and see a rolling lamp performance. A folk dance originated in Yuhang, Zhejiang province, with a history of over 800 years. And this flea market for children was set up to teach students to be more responsible when dealing with pocket money and be more sustainable and independent.
我是过来赶集的，然后今天就卖了10块钱。之前在学校里面跳蚤市场都是规定哪个班只能跟哪个区域去搞，然后现在是比较开放，有点欣喜，就觉得我产品能卖出去了。
参加这个小小展